Hi guys, hi. Welcome to Pick on a Dime with Sha, yet another episode. Guys, I am so tired, but I was like, there's no way I'm going to bed without making this video, because if I don't make it right now, I can't post it tomorrow. Yeah, I think it's tomorrow. Yeah. So as promised, here is a Q&A. A Q&A, question and answer for right about everything. You guys have been asking me so many questions and I have not been answering enough of them because life, because life. So I am going to take a couple of minutes before I get into bed and answer a few of these questions as I rant a little bit about my life so far. Right? So once again, welcome to Pick on a Dime with Sha. I have missed you guys so much and I am going to answer as many of your questions as I can, and of course there's going to be a part 2, a part B, what do you want to call it, whatever, but there is going to be a second part of this video because the questions were just so many, and I hope this video triggers you or encourages you to ask even more questions, right? Yeah, so if you are new here, my name is Sharon. I just moved to Canada a few months ago. Don't have an accent yet. I'm working on it. Just moved to Canada a few months ago and I am here to help you with your immigration journey, to tell you about life in Canada, just, to fill you up on the kind of things I wish someone told me before I came here, okay? Yeah, so let's dive into it. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you're a new subscriber, thank you so much for being here. We love you. We're all about good vibes here. We are all about good energy. So let's dive right into this. So I asked what did I ask? What did I post? I posted on my Instagram for people to ask me questions, all the things you'd like to know about Canada and about immigration, about the express entry, and about life here as a whole. So I'm going to answer a few of those questions. Some of these questions are actually still on my feed on my YouTube. People have been asking them under my videos. I'm sorry I have not gotten to all of them, but I'm answering them as I go. And some of them, most of these questions are actually from my Instagram, from my DM. I'm going to be showing you, as you can see, I'm going to be going through them. Okay. The wrong side. I'm going to be going through them and answer as many as I can. So let's go to the first one. What's your first name? So I'm just going to be answering them as I go. Feel free to ask even more questions below so that I can answer them on my next session. So let's go. First of all, what's your first name? My first name is Sharon. My friends call me Sha. That's Pick on a Dime with Sha. Number 2. Can someone from Qatar come to Canada? You can come to Canada from any place in the world as long as you have the qualifications, as long as you can, as long as you fit the criteria they are looking for, as long as you can fit in one of those visas that they are looking for, you can come to Canada from anywhere in the world. Which is the best option for immigrating to Canada, PR or visit visa process? I would say, according to my own experience, the PR process is obviously the best because you're landing here as a permanent resident. You're landing here ready to become a citizen. After 3 years, you're ready to apply for citizenship and you get it. Once you land here as a PR, it means you have all the rights that a citizen has other than voting. Everything else you can do, everything else you can participate in other than voting. So of course coming as a PR is the best option, unless you are just a touristing, so you are just visiting, then obviously the visit visa would be the right option. That is if you just want to come and see Canada. Let's see next. How much can one pay for rent for somebody coming in Canada for the first time? How much can one pay for rent? This depends on a whole lot of things. Okay, maybe not that many things. The rent you pay depends on one, where you're living, which province you're living. I'm living in Toronto, Canada. Toronto is in Ontario. Toronto is one of the most expensive places to live in Canada. Where you live, like I said, it depends on where you live. If you are a town girl or if you like the busy streets, you can come to Toronto. Toronto is the business hub of Canada, so it has a lot going on. So that of course makes it one of the most expensive places to live. That is Toronto, Ontario. That is in Ontario. You can go to, if you like the suburban lifestyle, you can go to suburban a bit further away from town. You can go to other provinces. Other provinces are obviously cheaper for one reason or the other, either because it's a bit colder or because it's, you know, so many reasons. I can't begin to actually list them, but like I said, there are so many places to live in Canada. Canada is so big, so the rent depends on where you are. And also you can decide to live in Ontario and also in Toronto, but the farther away you are from town, like from downtown, the cheaper it is. The closer you are like to the GTA, the more expensive it becomes. Okay, I hope that a bit of answers your question. My point is, like, there is no way of telling the amount of rent you're going to pay unless you know exactly where you want to live. Then you can be able to find an estimate, right? Yeah. Which job are you doing? Which job am I doing? I am I am currently a correspondent. Yeah, I'm currently a correspondent at an organization that sadly I cannot be able to tell you. Yes, because, you know, all those NDAs and all that. But yes, I'm a correspondent. Okay, next question. Hi girl, when one really wants to immigrate abroad but finds it impossible due to financial, is there? I think this is you asking if you have financial constraints, if you can still immigrate to Canada. And I think there are of course, if you want to immigrate for one reason or the other, or whichever visa you're looking for, you will have to spend some money because you have to invest in these things. I'm afraid there isn't really a way you can come free of charge unless you are coming via sponsorship. And when you're talking about sponsorship, that is like educational sponsorships. So I don't think there is any way that is like free, right? Yeah, but I think depending on what you're looking for, you can look for a cheaper one or one that is easier for you to. You don't have to come through a method that is going to cost you so much money. That is my point. Next question. I have a CRS score of 400. Do I have a chance? A CRS score of 400. The last draw was 481. That is the last one that they did, was 481. 481. I have honestly not had them go as low as 400. What I would advise you though is that you find ways to, you know, to increase your points. For instance, you can do an extra course, or, you know, just you can redo your IELTS and try get top marks or better marks. Like, there are ways you can increase your points instead of just waiting for the points to come down to where yours are. So at 400, I would more of encourage you to try increase your points instead of just waiting for them to lower, you know. Is immigration worth it? Someone at 29, do they have a chance at success with a career in admin? Yes and yes. I would say yes because this applied to me in so many ways. I started my migration journey when I was around this age. Around this age. Yes. So as long as you're not 30 yet, you get higher points if you are not yet at 30. And also, do they have a chance at success with a career in admin? My career is human resource management, so of course there is admin in that. And whichever career path you have, if you come as a permanent resident, you can start at the entry level and move yourself upwards. So the career path you have really isn't a problem, and you just need, you know, once you get here, the most important thing is the Canadian experience. That is the most important thing you need. So whichever career you're in, if you have Canadian experience, which of course you gain once you get here, then the rest won't be a problem. You can just find your way up, you know, work yourself up. Dating life in Canada. Dating life in Canada, I would not really be in a position to say or comment much about the dating life in Canada because of 1, 2, 3 reasons. But I can't tell you about the social life in Canada. Social life in Canada is a bit tricky. You find you have to be intentional about making friends. You have to be intentional about being out there and getting to know people. So I'm guessing if the social life in itself is a bit tricky, even the dating life has to be. But if I'm being honest, I've only been here for like 6, 7 months, so I really wouldn't be able to say much about it. But if you can come with your person, just come with your person, right? Yeah, but if you still want to get your person here, why not? I mean, it's a free world, it's a free country, whichever works for you. How long did it take to land a job once in Canada, and how was it? I got my job within my 2nd week in Canada. Thank God, because I was panicking. And it was scary. How was it? It was scary. I remember wondering how it was going to be. I remember freaking out. I remember wondering if I was going to match up, but they did a lot of training, and that made it easier for me. And I came to understand that in most jobs here, especially the best thing about getting into a job through the entry level is that they train you a lot. They train you a lot. By the time you're actually beginning, you have some confidence in what you're doing. So my experience is that I was really scared and I was really anxious when I was beginning, but it ended up being really good. They are very patient with you, give it your best, and Canadians are really nice. Even your bosses are really nice. Your co-workers are really nice. People are extra nice. It is true what they say out there. Canadians are a bit extra nice. So it's a bit scary because it's a new thing, but I wouldn't really worry about it. If you're willing to start and to be taught and to learn, you should have a straight, it shouldn't be anything to worry about, okay? Yeah, so what is the price you used when going to Canada? What is the price you used when going to Canada? I'm not sure what that means. What is the price you use? Or if you want to know the price of the whole process, like how much it cost me to do the whole process, there is a whole other video. It's called, what is it called? There is a whole other video. How much does it cost to come to Canada or to immigrate into Canada using the express entry? Just check in my videos. You'll find that video. It breaks down almost every single cent I used while I was immigrating here. Can you talk about the jobs and the pay rates? Also leasing houses. Okay, leasing houses is going to be a whole different topic. I'm going to do it alone because so many people have asked me about it, so I'm going to be doing it separately. I am going to do it. I really am. I'm sorry it's taking so long. I have no idea why I have postponed it, but guys, it is coming. I'm going to tell you all about leasing houses before and after you land in Canada, what they ask for, what you should be aware of, and all those things. So stay tuned for that. And jobs and the pay rates, I'm going to be giving you another video with my experience job hunting, how I landed my job, how it is working there, how I got my first promotion, and so forth. So stay tuned for that as well. Next, does a diploma certificate give you points to get into the pool? It does. Every piece of education that you have does give you points. Problem is, or the challenge is, how many points does it give you? Right? Because you have a diploma, another one has a degree, another one has a PhD, another one has masters. You are all fighting for the same thing. You're all fighting to get the highest points. So of course the one with the degree, the one with the PhD, the one with the masters, of course gets the higher points or has more points than you do. So yes, you can get into the pool, but how many points will you have? Will you be competitive enough to be, in the pool, or to get even to the points that are the current or that times cut line like you know what I mean, right? Yeah, so you can get into the pool, but will you be competitive enough? Like, will you get the points that high, right? Are you dating? Moving on. Mbona bado sijapata kati ya YouTube na venye tumetoa hii channel yetu mbali? This must be from a friend of mine. Yes, we got monetized some time back. We thank God. We are still working on getting the good, yes, we are getting, but you have to be on YouTube to understand this. But it's coming. Your cut is coming. I do not take your work for granted. Your cut is coming. How long does it take for Wes to give the final report? How long did yours take also? Love your channel. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Mwah. Thank you for the kind words and for being here, of course. How long does it take for Wes? For me took a month for it to be mailed to my physical address and for them to also send it via mail. So yeah, mine took a month. I hope it still takes a month, because obviously I did all these things pre-COVID, so I don't know how long it takes right now. So I think it still should probably take around a month. Is there racism in Canada? If I am being honest, let's see, racism. I've had a lot of people talk about racism according to their experiences, but in my experience, honestly, I have not faced any outright racism, right? Maybe there's those subtle ones that you'd have to really be keen on, like, was that racism, was that not racism? But I feel like if you really have to think about it, then it's not bothering you that much, right? So of course, in any country that is not your home, there is going to be racism. But the best thing about Canada is that there are so many immigrants. Everyone is different. So many people are different from other people, that who are you really going to be racist towards, like there are so many blacks, there are so many Asians, there are so many all types of people. Like, it is such a diverse place. So in my opinion, I feel like so far, in my very few months here, Canada is one of the places with the least amount of racism, if you ask me. Because in person, like in my own experience, I have not encountered any kind of racism. But I will be talking about this in length later on when I have been here a while and I have something to report. But for now, everyone has just been so nice, like really nice. But I also feel like it also depends on where you're going or who you are finding yourself around, or the situations. But for me, so far so good. I have not encountered any form of racism so far. Talk about the weather in Canada. Weather in Canada, I have made a whole video about the weather in Canada. It is dropping right after this video, so stay tuned. I will be talking about my whole experience ever since I came to Canada, coming from a tropical country to a really cold country. I'm going to tell you my experience about the weather in Canada in full, so stay tuned for that video. Next, I have a diploma in business administration and I want to come to Canada. How should I go about it? It is the same thing. Like I said, you have the qualifications. Yes, you can get into the pool, but just how competitive are you going to be compared to the others, right? Yeah, so you just want to put yourself in a place where you can compete with the others and be confident about it. Next, how is Canada lately? Is it lonely, as I hear people say? Alafu, did you go alone? Canada can be lonely, just like any other place in the world will be lonely if you're there alone. But I am not here alone. I have a lot of people around me. I have a lot of loved ones around me, people I found here, people I came here with. So it really hasn't been lonely for me. I'd be lying if I said it had been. And when you're going to work, when you're working, you get to meet a lot of people. And if you put yourself out there enough, meet enough people, it really, I don't think it's lonely. But I agree that if you come here alone and know no one, of course my situation is different, because like I said, I didn't come alone, and I met a lot of people here that I already knew by the time I was landing. So I already had like a small family, so it wasn't so bad for me. But if you come alone, just like moving to a new town, just like moving to any other place in the world, if you're alone, it is going to get lonely. You have to put yourself out there. You have to intentionally put yourself out there, talk to people, make friends, get yourself unlonely. Next, also, I hear because of the weather, which I'll be talking more about, the weather can make you feel a bit lonely, especially if you really have to stay indoors, especially during the cold times. I think that can make you feel like it is lonely, right? Next, did you have a job when you got to Canada? If not, how was job hunting? No, I did not have a job by the time I was coming to Canada. I got my job within the second week, like I had said before, and job hunting was really scary for me. I am going to tell you all this in length. I'm going to tell you my experience going for interviews, the first interviews I ever went for, the feelings I got. I actually made a few small videos for my first interviews, so I'm going to be giving you guys all the tea about it and what to expect. Next, how did you go about finding a place to live? I already told you I'm making a video about that. Are you able to visit your country after acquiring a permanent residency? When you have permanent residency, you can come and go out of Canada whenever you want, however you want. All you have to do is, if you're willing or if you want to apply for citizenship, you have to have been in the country for a total of 1,000 days. So most people prefer to actually stay here for their 1,000 days before visiting home, but you can come and go whenever you want. You have no restrictions. Your visa is not your visa, your passport is okay. You can come and go however you want. Even before you apply for the Canadian passport, you can just come and go as you wish. It won't be a problem. Next question, let's see. Next question, I want to move to Canada, but I have no work experience. I'm thinking of applying for PR. Will that work? I'm afraid not, because one of the qualifications is that you need to have work experience. I think when you're counting your CRS score, there is a part where you put how many years of work experience you have, and the highest points you get are when you have 3 years. I think there's also a part for when you have no work experience at all, but then that reduces all your points, right? Again, at the end of the day, it's all about how competitive are you going to be, with how many points are you going to have. Anyone and everyone can apply, but how competitive are you going to be, right? Okay, next, how were you able to find accommodation in a new country, and was it affordable? Video coming up. Canada culture shocks. On video coming up. Culture shocks video is coming up. I am looking forward to making this video. I feel like I have been here long enough to make this video now and to tell you my actual experience. So please stay tuned for that video. It is coming up. Let's see, your experience in Canada so far. My experience in Canada so far, I feel like this is the part that I should be ranting, but let's save the ranting for another day. So let's do a life update instead. For your experience in Canada so far, I am going to be doing a life update. Let's see that. Sorry, I have lost my page. Where was it? Sorry. Next question. Did you use an agency? Guys, I think this is the one question that has been asked the most ever since I started talking about my immigration journey. No, I did not use an agency. No, I did not use an agent. Capital N-O, in caps, in bold, underlined. I did not use any agent. I did not use any agency. I hope I have answered that enough now, because I have had this question so many times, even in my DM, people asking me, which agency did you use? Did you use an agent? How much did they ask for? How much did you pay them? I did not use an agency, and I did not use any agent. So please, I will repeat what I said in my I think this was in my immigration story. If you haven't watched it, please go watch it. Thank you. I'll repeat what I said. You do not need an agent. You do not need an agency to do this process. I used the PR process, the permanent residency. Sorry, I used the express entry process. I used the express entry process, and I did not need to use an agent anywhere. This whole process is so DIY. Do it yourself. You can literally do everything yourself. All you need to do is follow the instructions. Just go step by step, do your due diligence, follow up on what you are told, just give the information they ask for. That's right about it. There is nothing else you need someone else to do for you. You do not need a lawyer. You do not. And one of these days, I'm going to give you a reason. I'm going to explain to you the reason, or how how I learned the hard way that you do not need an agent, a lawyer, or an agency to be able to do this process. I will give you that story on story time coming soon, right? Next, how long did it take you to get a job? I have already said within my 2nd week. Questions asked at the airport. I'm going to be doing a video for that. They are not very many, but I'll be doing a specific video for the questions that are asked at the airport. Accommodation and settling video coming up. How to get a job before or after. I'm going to be doing that. It's also coming up. Canadian weather coming up. Culture shock. Why didn't you travel? This must be from someone who has been watching the other videos. Why didn't you travel immediately you got your visa? I think I gave this story some time back, but that the reason I didn't travel immediately was because I had airline confusions. I did not do my due diligence. I ended up booking the wrong flight. I did not know that I needed a Schengen transit visa. I ended up having to postpone my flight. I ended up having to pay extra for it. That is the reason I traveled late. I'm sure if you watch my immigration story, you're going to understand it better. Can anyone do it? Like I am a Form 4 leaver. Like I said again, anyone and everyone can apply for the express entry. It all comes down to how many points will you have. You can apply if you apply at Form 4, your education is right about the lowest. You do not have any work experience. You do not have 1, 2, 3 things, you know. Like at the end of the day, just go to the IRCC website, find out what you need, find out how to get your highest points, and voila, that is going to be it. I hope I have answered most of the questions. I'm sorry I cannot go through all of this. Most of them I'm going to be making actual videos for each one, so please stay tuned for that. For the full videos. The most asked questions are actually to do with the points, how many points you need to, or how to get into the pool, how to do the process, how to actually start it. And my answer is the same answer I give to right about everyone. Anyone and everyone can do this. All you need to do is do your due diligence. Go to the website. The website, I keep telling you again and again, is IRCC. All your questions will be answered on the IRCC website. All your answers are there. If anyone tells you about any other website, any other link, they are lying. It is IRCC. Right? Please click on it, do your due diligence, do your research. You can be able to do this on your own. You do not need someone else to do it for you, okay? So guys, videos that are coming up, full videos, there is what to pack. So a number of people have been asking me what to pack. There is the questions at the airport, there is the Canadian weather, there is accommodation before and after, there is the job seeking before and after arriving in Canada. Yeah, those are the ones at the top of my head, but I will be doing as many as I can, so please do stay tuned. Guys, I'm afraid that is a wrap. We did not have much time today, and like I said, it has been such a long day, but I'm so happy I have been able to do part 1 of this video. Thank you so much for all your questions. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, because I'm hoping you have already liked this video, and thank you for sharing and letting everyone know all about it. I will be doing a part 2, of course, and I will be trying my next Q&A will be more of lifestyle, and I will try to group the questions together depending on the type of questions they are, and I will try to give it more time and more explanations. But for now, I hope I have answered your questions as you wanted, and yeah, that's right about it. Thank you so much for watching. Nothing but love. Mwah, mwah, mwah.